Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Chris, your sneaker professor over here at arch-usa.com. Hopefully, you guys have now subscribed to the station. If you really enjoy a different version of sneaker content, not just the same kind of redundant information that's out there, this is going to be a really cool, quick post that shares with you a little bit of information about how amazing Jordan Brand is in the athletic industry, in the footwear industry, in the sneaker space, specifically during the holidays. So the article, if you see right next to me, it says Jordan Brand completely dominates the weekend. So the Cherry 11 dropped on Saturday, right? People were lined up on Friday to pick it up. But the interesting thing is how impressive that entire drop was. So if we look at Jordan Brand on literally any weekend, they could dominate. And especially since Adidas and Yeezy have parted ways, and the Three Stripes is Sands' flagship sneaker. They don't have a flagship sneaker to drop for the hype and style conscious consumer. This does not mean that the data around resale isn't compelling to look at. We know that it's going to be primarily, controlled by Nike and Jordan Brand. But if you look back at the article that I wrote a few weeks ago on the Lost and Found Air Jordan 1, the numbers in resale established that Nike's inventory issue, remember during last quarter, Nike announced they had a 44% increase in inventory. That's going to be short-lived, and I've done another video where I talked about that, but let's jump into it. So that Black Friday trend around the Jordan 1 continued to show that Jordan and Nike just completely control, and I got my hands up, because they just completely control the holiday season. Yeezy used to be an obstacle for Nike, and it allowed Adidas to kind of coast for the last few years, which is why Adidas doesn't have anything to replace Yeezy during this holiday season, because they didn't build anything else up in the US while Yeezy was dominant and able to kind of disrupt the momentum of Nike and Jordan Brand. But this is what's interesting. In the picture up here at the top, right? You see this picture. You look over here to my side, you can see the picture, and it says that 12,715 pair of these shoes sold in the last 3 days. Now, that was from Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Actually, it was Saturday, Sunday to Monday. 12,715 pairs sold on StockX. And that's crazy when you think about it. But this is what's wild. The model sold out in retail. It was no different than any year that the Jordan 11 drops. We all know what happens during that time. You get these wild scenes in social media and all of this stuff. But this one shoe, and the SKU for that shoe, the men's Jordan 11, CT 8012-116, 12,841 pair had sold by yesterday night. And what I did was I went to eBay to do some more research. And the same men's model shows that eBay is still not as effective as they should be. It's a fraction of the shoes that sold on eBay, but I'm opening this up so you can see it, and I'm going to minimize this picture a little bit, drag it over to the side so we can open this up and you don't have to look at my desktop so much. But the reason I'm doing this is so you can see this is the eBay data for that same SKU, CT 8012-116. And you see that it sold for $290.40 and 1,353 pairs sold at $392,000. Now, why is this important? When you're looking at that, what you have to remember is, and going back to it real quick, that's almost $400,000 generated in sales on eBay in resale, right? So what I did, I thought about that and I said, okay, I want to compare how this one Jordan, the men's, not including the GS or the preschool or the toddler or the crib, it sold out at retail in all those sizes. But when you look at this, and when I get to using the keyword, and I went on and I did my research and I was like, okay, let me look up keyword brand plus sneakers, and that'll cover the entire SKU of what's sold on eBay for each brand, individual brand. So let's look at this. If I would have included the GS shoes, the GS on StockX sold 5,094 pair in 3 days. The preschool sold 1,802 pair. The toddler sold 1,924 pair. The crib and the infant size even resold and sold 136 pair. So on eBay alone, 232 pair of the sneakers sold for the GS version at a total of $54,424. So if I combine that with the men's, I'm now not at this $392,000. I'm at $447,000, $335.36 on eBay. So on eBay, you got basically $450,000 sold in the Air Jordan 11 Retro Cherry. Once again, why is this important? Let's get into the rest of this article where I'm going to show you charts and graphs, because when you see this, I want you to understand how serious this is for the other brands, specifically on these big launches for Jordan, right? So just using the keywords brand plus sneakers. Here's the information for the other brands. You guys ready? So remember, the Jordan, $450,000 is what it totaled in resale on eBay. Now, I'm only looking at eBay. I'm not even focusing on StockX because I can pull more data from eBay. Let's see what Adidas did on all Adidas shoes. There's no particular SKU. It's Adidas sneakers. And you get a $97 average per sale, 5,000 sold, which is a pretty good amount of shoes. But the Jordan on two shoes sold 450,000. Adidas is the only company that outperformed, but it did not, because this includes all SKUs for Adidas sneakers. They did 532,000 over those 3 days. The Jordan 11 by itself literally equals what happened on eBay for Adidas sneakers. And it doesn't get any better. All right, it doesn't get any better. But there is some insight that we can glean from this information. So let's go to ASICS. ASICS sneakers over that same 3-day period, $119,000, 3,000 pair plus sold at an average price of $33. That's ASICS. Hoka. Yeah, I did all of these brands. Hoka, 750 pair, $60,000, $79.96. Much better than ASICS. Very close to Adidas, but Hoka nowhere near close to the Jordan 11. New Balance, which you would think, because everybody's like, oh, New Balance is the new hype. It's popping, man. We should be able to move. New Balance, 1,263 pairs sold, $105,473 in sales. $83.51 is the price. Let's go to On Cloud Running. On Cloud Running, $68,000, 652 pairs sold. But look at the average sold price. This is very good for On. On should be happy right now because compared to Adidas, On is outperforming Adidas in the average pair sold. Now, obviously not that many sold, but On is a much smaller brand, but that's a very good indication of how well that shoe company is doing right now. Under Armour, $23,000, $23,853, 375 pairs sold, $63.61 is the average sold price. Jordan brand just completely demolished every brand during the weekend for the release of the Air Jordan 11. It's wild. It's an amazing thing to look at and actually break down the numbers. And I just wanted to give you guys that information, give you something to think about and talk about in regard to how successful Jordan brand was with the Air Jordan 11 Cherry release. That's it. I'll see you guys on the next one. Like, share, subscribe. And I do want the comments, man. What do you think about this? It's pretty interesting information when you dive into it. If you want these charts, I can send them to you by email or something if you want them. But I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.